Well, hi there, YouTube. Chad here doing another Bible review. And as you can see, I have another Bible. And if you're a real Bible geek, you know this is a church Bible publisher's box. So what could be inside? It's a late Christmas present from my dear sister Amy. Something I've wanted for a long time. And it's finally available, and it's mine, all mine. So what could it be? Could it be a, well, let's see here. It must be a Bible, right? Yep, that's true, it is a Bible. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing, which I've already unboxed it and stuff. But let's check this puppy out. Oh, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here it comes. Here it comes. Whoops. I dropped the box top. That's okay though. Look at this. Ooh, it's brown. And it's the AA leather. And it's water buffalo, and it's a full yapp. What could this be? Well, folks, let's take a look here. Holy Bible, authorized King James, CBP. Look at that, 3 extra long ribbons. Man, those are long too. Look at the length on those. Yeah, I like it. I'm sorry, I'm just giddy about this one. I absolutely love this. So let's open it up and take a look. Ooh, Italia cowhide. And this is just so marshmallowy. And look at that when I flex the cowhide compared to when I flex the water buffalo. See if I can get a glare going. Look at that. Oh, get more glare so you can really see that grain. I'll use my foot here. Oh, okay, not that. There we go. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Now, if you guys have seen my cranberry turquoise Bible, which I have a review of on my channel, then I gotta say this water buffalo is radically different. It's still a good thick chunk of leather, and I mean the cover is just exquisite, but it's not as shiny, and it doesn't have the same feel as the other one. This is a lot smoother than my cranberry colored turquoise, but it's still nonetheless just absolutely gorgeous. I did not want milk chocolate, but that's the only color this was available in, and I'm happy with it. I'm thrilled. I've never had a full yapp Bible, and this thing is full yapp, as you can see there. I mean, that yapp just closes right over, and it does it on the top. Whoa, a little hard to do on the side, but there, whoa, come on, zoom out, focus. Okay. And it does it on the sides, and it does it on the bottom. So you can see this is a full yapp. And what Bible is it? I'll give you a hint. One of my favorite Bibles of all time. No, it's not a turquoise. It is, let's see if we can get here. There's that page. Another blank page, a couple more blank pages. Ooh, the Thompson chain. Love the Thompson chain. One of my favorite Bibles you can get. Absolutely love it. Let's check out some of the specs on this puppy. Alright, so copyright 1988. The B.B. Kirkbride Bible Company. Okay, 1982, 1988. Entered at Stationer's Hall. Here we go. 37th printing, January 2019. King James Version, of course. Over 3.8 million copies of the TCR Bible, KJV, from previous editions are in print. Printed in the US of A. Another reason why I love church Bible publishers. All their Bibles are printed in the good old USA. And of course, it is a standard text of the Thompson chain. Here's your list of... Turn this screen. Okay, here's your comprehensive Bible helps. And you can see there's quite a few of those in there. So you can really see that list of comprehensive Bible helps. Whoops. Come on. It's showing that it's going out of focus, and I don't think it is. It did this to me before. There we go. There you see a list of the Bible helps. Here is the preface to the TCR. And you can see there. Try to zoom in a little bit. That way you can read it. You can go back and check this out yourself. So if you want to read this and see a little bit more about it before you buy one, you can actually check it out. Someone asked me to do this where I go through just some of the things and just kind of zoom in on them and pan around so that way they can read it. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. That way everyone can see exactly what is in here. And this is going to explain the Thompson chain. And I am sorry if you're looking for a more exhaustive review. This is probably not going to be as exhaustive. I've got other reviews of this on my channel, so you can go back and read it or watch those if you want more information. Because I know when I'm watching reviews, that's one thing I will do. I will watch several reviews on one particular Bible I am looking to get. Now here's your explanation of the margins, Textcyclopedia, and the journey maps. Okay, I'm gonna show this so that way everyone can get an idea of what this all means, and they can see how it works, and kind of figure it out for themselves. And my neighbor is sneezing, if you can hear that. Okay. Practical advantages of this Bible. You know, I don't think this was in my my other ones. I think this is kind of new. Not sure. But I'm going to give you guys all of this, because I know I had some people asking me about the Thompson chain, and they were asking me, because I would share my videos on Facebook, they'd ask me questions about it. Oh, I'm getting shaky. They'd ask me questions about it, and I said, you know, next time I get a Thompson chain, I'll give it a review, but I'll post more information about it from the insides. That way they would be able to figure it out for themselves. So I am doing that as a favor to some of my friends. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Chad, why don't you get a different translation of the Thompson chain? And I'm like, you know, I want one. I'd love to get a New King James Version, and also get a New American Standard. The problem I'm having is that they're both out of print right now. And also, on top of that, the NASB, they only print the 1977, which isn't bad, and I prefer the 1995. So, sorry, I mean, it's an... And here you have that famous two streams of the Bible for the Old Testament and the New Testament. Then you have that 400 silent, prophetic silent years. And then you get into it, and there you get your information. And I'll show more about these numbers here in a second. Now here's your chapter summary. So this summarizes the whole chapter. You know how in some Bibles they'll have subject headings as you're reading along? Well, here's all those subject headings at the very beginning. So if you're looking for a particular subject when you're reading a passage, that makes it a lot easier to navigate. So then you go through, and here in your text, you know, you have your biblical text, and then here in the column, the side column, you have these different numbers. So like right here, this is a parallel passage, John 1:3, Hebrews 1:10. But then like you're looking at God, Creator. Okay, so that's one of the topics covered in, you know, these verses over here. So there's several entries for Creator, and this tells you want the first entry. Now if you want to look at the next reference, because this is a chain reference, you would read, you know, John 1:1, in the beginning, or pardon me, Genesis 1:1, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. The next reference in this chain is Exodus 20 verse 1. or you can skip to the back to number 884, which I'll go ahead and do now just to show you how that works. So now we're looking for 884. Okay, now you go to 884 and there it says creator, and there you see that number 1, creator of the natural universe, Genesis 1:1, forward reference to Exodus 20:11. And then you also have Nehemiah 9:6, and some of these it has the verses referenced, some it just shows a forward reference, whatever. So that's how you would use this to do your cross-referencing. And in here you have a number of different references. They claim about 100,000, or maybe it's over 100,000. I'm not exactly sure, but you know, some of these have 10, 15, 20 references, and not all of them are the full verse. Like if you look right here at 2501, it talks about the pillar of cloud and fire, and it shows probably 15 or so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So yeah, there's 15 references right there that are given on that one particular topic. And then it talks about the Shekinah, the supernatural light or cloud which appeared on the mercy seat. So there you have a little dictionary. And that's how that works. Now, I'll just show the red letter, because this is, you know, a red letter edition Bible. And what this started out as originally was just a wide margin Bible that Dr. Frank Thompson wrote the subjects in the columns, and then he came up with a number key, and then he took all the references and put them in the back and put them all together in one big cyclopedic index. So that's pretty much how that part works. And then when you do get to the back, okay, you're getting through Revelation. We're getting through Revelation. Okay, now you are in the Comprehensive Bible Helps. So this whole first section is Bible. This whole back section is the notes. So this section is about 50% of the size of the Bible, and it's got some amazing stuff. It's got 8 different departments. You know, you have the first text, or first text cyclopedia, second Bible readings, third the outline, studies of the Bible, fourth studies of prominent Bible characters, fifth Bible harmonies and illustrated studies, sixth archaeological supplement, seventh concordance, eighth colored Bible atlas. I absolutely love the concordance in the back of the Thompson chain. I think it's probably one of the better ones that's ever been executed. It may not be the most exhaustive, but I tell you what, between the concordance and the cyclopedia index, or general index, whatever, that's great. Now here we have the general index, and I'll go ahead and just pan over here so you can see that. I want to talk about this. The ghosting in this, yes, there is some ghosting, but honestly, it's not that bad. This is using a thin Bible paper, or maybe even India paper. And honestly, the ghosting in this has never bothered me. It really hasn't. This is not even line matched. And you can see here, the ghosting is actually coming through worse than what it really is. Now, see, I'll get in real close there, and you can see there's very little ghosting even there. And actually, that was probably about how it is actually. So you go through this general index, and these are all the different topics that are covered. when you get to the condensed cyclopedia of topics and index, and then there's an explanation, and I will pan over that. And also sometimes in this, if you look over, it'll also have a reference to how the revised version of like 18 man, what was it? I want to say it was 1881, but I don't think that was it. Maybe it was. But it has sometimes that in the margin, which can be very nice. And that's where we, you know, I showed you a second ago, these are where the key numbers come into play, because you have that key number here on the side, and you take that key number and you look it up over here. You know, you're looking it up in this portion here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to past this, because I've already showed this part. Okay, working workers. Okay, now we're getting towards the end of this. Okay, now you have outline studies of the Bible, 7 editions of divine law, and it shows how that all works together. And I think this is brilliant, the way Dr. Frank Thompson put this all together. I think this is just great. Just fantastic. Now here you have a historical bridge, and there's so much here. And I'm going to try to get as much of this in there as possible, even though I don't think you're going to be able to read this. It'll at least give you some ideas about it. Gives you some information. Now here you have the origin and growth of the English Bible. And this can actually now be updated. Sorry, my phone just went off. This actually does need to be updated now, and a couple things changed about it. I think that would be a good thing to do, because I know a lot of the, not all, but a lot of the readings you find in the KJV will actually match up with the Dead Sea Scrolls, and in some of these newer versions it differs. And I can't think of any off the top of my head, and it's not a big deal. You know, it doesn't ever change the meaning of what's being said, just how it's being said. Oh boy, my phone's going off, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm just going to pan and scan around this a little bit so you can really get the idea yourself. And here's more information about, you know, ancient versions. Different English versions and translations. Actually, you know what? I'll go back here and pan this. There we go. See, there's just so much in this. It's not even funny how much stuff is in this, to be honest with you. One of my heroes, William Tyndale. This is my absolute favorite Bible with no commentary. Hands down, this one is my absolute favorite. You can take your open Bible, take your turquoise, take your ultra thin reference, and I tell you what, I'll take this above all of them, just because there's so much in this and it's so beneficial to read. And it's such a great layout. It really is. Because it gives you the feeling that it's a text Bible, you know, like text only. But it's not. It's loaded with all these great study resources. So, yeah, there you can read the information there. I mean, some of this stuff is just awesome to be able to read and understand. Make sure I get that last little bit there for the TEV, also known as the Good News Bible. Sorry, I am very uncomfortable. I have a bad back. Yeah, they need to update this section too, because the NIV has been revised. So the 1984 edition of the NIV is no longer in print. And it used to be you could get the Thompson in NIV, but not anymore. So there you have messianic stars that talk about, and this is like a historical thing, and you get a lot of these types of charts where it just gives you different information. And I'll try to get this in here so you can see the captivity of Israel. There's different scripture references, so you can really see that. Then you have this one, the Temple of Truth. Let me rotate this. And Christ's Sermon on the Mount, which is pretty neat to see. Okay. And usually there's an explanation given with charts like this. So here now, we can look up a good bit of the information and get an idea how this works. Now here's your Old Testament condensed outline, New Testament condensed outline, and here I'll just give you a brief thing on the New Testament outline. There you go. And you can see it has the numbers in the outer corners at the top, page numbers down here at the bottom. So let's see what else is in here. You have analysis of the books. Here you go. Periods of Old Testament history, along with secular history, interval between the Old and New Testaments. So there's quite a bit of stuff in here. Here's outlines of all the books of the Bible, of everything that's going on in them. So you know how sometimes in a study Bible, you'll have like, here's a section on the book of Genesis. And this just gives you an outline of the book of Genesis. And that goes through, and there's one of those for each and every book. For instance, here's the one for the Gospel of John. And you can do more referencing and get even more information. Okay. And I'll go ahead and show you the complete Gospel of John outline. Okay. There we go. Okay, skip ahead a little bit here. The analysis. Okay. Then you get into character studies, and here's a few for Noah, the ark, last days before the flood. Then there's Abraham. I'm sorry if you can't see all this. And there's, you know, a map there. But I'm trying to be as thorough as I can and give you some information that people has asked me, because a lot of times these things are not super thorough, but I'm trying to give information that you usually don't see in other reviews. Now here is prominent Bible characters classified with the meanings of their names. So that's pretty neat, if you ask me. I really like that, and I appreciate that. There's even a section for prominent women. Here's an outline history of the apostles. Different portraits of Christ from the Gospel of John. And then you have portraits of Christ from different parts of the Bible, from Isaiah. Then you have Christ is portrayed in the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And those go on. There's Paul's portraits of Christ, Peter's portraits of Christ, apocalyptic portraits of Christ, the calendar of the Christian era, prophecies concerning Jesus and their fulfillment. So you'll have an Old Testament prophecy, the heart of what the prophecy is about, and its New Testament fulfillment, which is really neat, especially if you're going to talk to people who are Jewish. Alright, then you have Bible harmonies, illustrated studies, and I mean some of the charts in here, and I'm not going to give, you know, this video is already running a fairly decent amount of time. There's the tree of Jesus's life. I'm trying to get to that archaeological supplement. There's a topical treasury, practical helps for young people and Christian workers. So that's a cool little feature to have. Let's see here, places for religious worship. Okay, here we go. This is something that my friend Dale, he found this to be, I mean, this just blew his mind. And this is for the, let's see here. Where are we? Okay. The Archaeological supplement. There's a famous picture of the Rosetta Stone. And it says, Rosetta Stone, the key with which scholars unlocked the early civilizations of Egypt. Because it was one stone, and it had 3 different languages on it, and each language is saying the same thing. So they were finally able, because of this Rosetta Stone, they could only read like 1 or 2 of the languages, but because of that, they were able to figure out what the 3rd language said, which is pretty cool. Now this archaeological supplement, it does have some pictures, and pictures are always cool. And once again, you know, these numbers come into play. So like there's I, right here, let's go, here we go. Number 4438, Babylon. And then it gives you a history, a very brief history of Babylon. I'll go ahead and just scan Babylon for you. So you can read that. You can get an idea of the type of stuff that you're going to find in this Bible. You know, there's some pictures. And there's Beersheba. There's Caesarea. So here you can get a good information about Caesarea. Now here you go. Dead Sea Scrolls. If you're ever interested in that, there's a nice big section on the Dead Sea Scrolls. Starts right here, and it goes all the way down there, and then it goes all the way down there, all the way down there. Flip the page, and it goes all the way down here, all the way down here, and then all the way down here, and then all the way down here. And there's a picture of the Isaiah scroll. And the Dead Sea Scroll goes all the way down here. And it finally stops at Derby. So some of the stuff in here goes into great detail. Some of the stuff, it's minimal detail. And interestingly enough, if I'm not mistaken, this is all alphabetical as well, which I find to be pretty interesting. I know the first article I ever read in this was about Rome. So I'll go ahead and scan over this article on Rome, just so you can read it. This is the first thing I ever read, and I thought it was just incredibly interesting. This really helped me get interested in archaeology, or some of the archaeological information and cultural background. Just reading this one little article. Okay, here's the last column. Here you go. So that's the entry for Rome. Then you get more to the back, and there's that archaeological supplement. I mean, it's a good portion. Then you get a section on the Hebrew calendar. Now here's something else. An abbreviated glossary. Come on. Focus. Shh. Come on. An abbreviated glossary of Old English, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek words from the King James authorized version of the Bible with present-day meanings. So, a lot of people will complain about some of those old archaic words in the King James. Well, this is not the best, but this does explain a good bit. Now, for some reason, there's your abbreviations for books of the Bible, and then a reference to the Cyclopedic Index. Okay, now you get into this glossary, and I'll show you there's just a few of them. If I can get this to... Oops, sorry, I almost dropped you. In that, go 2 pages forward and show some of these. So you can really see some of that. It's kind of like a mini dictionary. Now you have the bibliography. Webster's New 20th Century Dictionary Unabridged, William Collins Publisher, Inc. The Language of the King James Bible, Melvin F. Elliott Doubleday Publishers. Now here's that revised concordance and key to the topical study. I'll just go ahead and show this and hope you can read it. If not, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this recording done. And here you go. Starts on page, and this is a 3-column on each page, and it starts on page 1814, and it goes all the way, and you can see this is a pretty extensive little concordance, and it goes from pages 1814 to let's see here, 1910. So it's under 100 pages, but I tell you what, when I've had to use it, it's usually got more information than anything I've ever needed. Now, the old Thompson I had from 2007, which I still have, these maps were just on the regular Bible paper. Now they are on glossy cardstock. And as you know, I hate glossy cardstock. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. It smudges, it scuffs, and I don't like it. But what am I going to do? Another interesting thing, this thing is loaded with maps. That whole section there is all maps. Well, actually, I should count it as 2, shouldn't I? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, I'd trade it about 9. 10, 11, 12. So there's about a dozen maps, and then you get a couple pieces of cardstock, and then finally the end sheet, and then we go, and here is the back side of this, and you can see genuine water buffalo AA leather. The liner on this is Italia cowhide. It's not Italian, it's Italia, which I think refers to a style of cowhide. And then you have, of course, the actual leather here itself that the Bible is made of, which is the water buffalo, which is very, with this yapp I can feel it. It is luxurious, and I love it. I really do. So, Church Bible Publishers, full yapp, Thompson chain reference study Bible in milk chocolate water buffalo. I absolutely love this. It was $150. My sister got it for me as a late Christmas present. Not much to say. I mean, this is in my eyes, perfection. I would have got this in cranberry, and I tell you what, if it was the exact same cranberry water buffalo as my turquoise, I'd have been set for life. I'd have been done. Forget it. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. Yeah, but anyway, sorry it's been so long since I've uploaded some of these reviews, but a lot of stuff has been going on, and a lot of changes in my life and my ministry. And tell you what, if you'd pray for me and for my ministry, I would really appreciate it. I really would. So, till next time, I just want to say I love you and God bless you. And I hope you guys have a great day. Oh, I got to do the upsides, downsides. Okay. Upsides of this. AA leather does amazing work. The water buffalo, it just feels marvelous. The Italia cowhide is gorgeous as well. I mean, this is just fantastic quality. It is a standard Kirkbride text block, and I love it. I wish the paper was a little bit more opaque, and this paper is fairly white, but I'll tell you this much, this paper is also absorbent. So as you use it, just rubbing your hands across it, you're actually releasing oils from your hand into the paper. It's conditioning the paper, so the paper soon will turn like a silky smooth, and it will not stick at all. Like you hear this. You won't hear that friction at all. It just becomes very smooth. Yeah. The only downside to this is the red letters. They are using a red that is about like fire engine red. You know, a lot of people say pink. It's not pink. It's just a light red. Not even as dark as a fire engine. This is like a light red colored. It's actually lighter than a red crayon. But the ghosting in this is not bad at all. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. It's got beautiful contrast to it. This is excellent. And also, like in the turquoise, you also have subject headings here at the very top, where it just shows you what's going on this one page. And then you have right here another subject heading. That one covers the entire chapter for Revelation there. And if you back it up a little bit, I'm sure you'll find some others. Let's see here. There you go, chapter 3 of Revelation. What John was commanded to write to the angels of the churches of verse 1, Sardis, verse 7, Philadelphia, verse 14, Laodicea. So there you see how that works. And also here, like in chapter 2, there's your little summary real quick. But then it also says, the active church, sound in doctrine, but deficient in love. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my review. Upsides to this, premium leather, which is perimeter stitched, by the way. You know, that's something else they added, is that perimeter stitching. This is a beautifully well-made Bible. I think this is just fantastic. If they release this particular one in that cranberry water buffalo, I'm getting it. So, anywho, guys, this is Chad. I want to thank my sister Amy. I love you. Thank you for this wonderful Bible. I want to thank Church Bible Publishers for making premium Bibles accessible to everyone. Till next time, I just want to say I love you. God bless. Bye-bye.